Welcome back to West Texas View.
We're glad to have you back, and we're talking with Amy Hendricks, and she's the Interim Executive Director of the Samaritan Counseling Center. And a lot of people may not know, because you typically don't really investigate something until you need it. So you don't know that there is a faith-based, non-denominational, but something that pays attention to your spirit as well as your emotional needs and your physical and mental needs. And you may not know anything about this counseling center, but they have thousands of patients or clients each year, and they do it with all ages. This is not primarily, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not primarily a center that deals with drug abuse.
No, not primarily.
This is talking about relationships, whether it's a relationship with yourself or whether it's a relationship with other people. And so one of those that we get into is with veterans. And one of the problems is when they come back home, fitting back into their families. Because all of a sudden this wife has had to take over and be in charge of everything while their husband's gone. And all of a sudden the husband's back and wants to regain his rightful place in the family, and it's hard for them to find that balance.
I think there's so many different issues when it comes to the veterans, and that's one of the things that Samaritan has taken very cautiously and with kid gloves, is that we've been given money, and that money is to help veterans and their families. And so we help anybody, and we have a sliding scale, but we've got a very specific fund set aside to help the military veterans.
It's not commingled with anything else.
And it's not commingled, and it's there for that very specific purpose. And so anybody that is a veteran or a veteran's family member that needs help, whether it's while they're gone, whether it's a kid who's having a hard time dealing with mom or dad being gone, not understanding why, their parent can't be there for something, whether it's a spouse who's
or the depression
struggling,
of
right, or a veteran returning, whatever that case may be, we are there to provide that service and to help. And our counselors have been and continue to go through trainings as new things come out, as new information is found, as we participate in our local groups. And our clinical director has gone and is part of the Honor Our Troops things, just so you can be there and hear. Maybe there's some problems that we haven't really thought about, or maybe we need to look at a new way of addressing some things. And so she's very active in that. And so we're really, that is a big area that we are proud to support and be able to have, and we're blessed that people provided the original grant, the TRIAD grant that did that, and then some additional monies that have come in for that.
And one of the things that is a national discussion right now is the number of suicides among veterans.
Yes.
And so to get a little help when they're feeling all of these emotions swirling about can prevent problems later on. So even as early as you first get out of the military, then you're really encouraged before you really start having any deep problems.
Well, and I think when you look at everything that we do at Samaritan, we do career, we do grief, we do depression, we do all of those counseling, all of those come to play. You're a veteran, you come home, you're going to be looking for what is your next thing to do, what's your new career. You are having, as you said, to adjust. You're having to adjust, your family's having to adjust to you being home, and they're having to adjust to new roles and new changes, and you're having to adjust to maybe not having seen your child who was a baby when you left, and now maybe they're a toddler and now they're grown up, and you missed part of that life, and so you have to get to where they are. Because you're still thinking about them as really young, particularly when they've already hit those teenage years and they've grown up, and you're still expecting that baby. And so everybody has, a portion of that. But really, Samaritans, whether it's grief, like I said, depression, vocational counseling, whether it's marriage and family relationships, whether it's parenting skills, all of those things apply. And they all apply to all of us at any one time.
It's just concentrated in the veteran because they've
they put it all into a very short, often period of time that they're having to deal with so much of it. Some of us stretch that all over our entire lifetime, and they're coming back, and it's all happening at one time. And so yes, to get it now, but to come in for career counseling, that's okay. That's there. It's something that we offer.
And one of the things that I always was happy to brag about the Samaritan Counseling Center is that a client does not have to be referred by a doctor, but often is.
Right.
They can be referred by a clergy.
Yes.
They can be referred by themselves.
They can self-refer without a doubt.
And they can, a friend can suggest that they come. So there's all kinds of ways that they can get to the Samaritan Counseling Center. But then, and we did touch on this very much when your staff was here, but then how do they pay? Well, if they're veterans, then we've got some grants.
But we have some other funds as well. Again, we've got a wonderful community here, and I've spent the last week writing several grants, hoping to increase some of those funds for other areas. But Samaritan is set up to provide counseling on a sliding scale basis. So when you call out there, the first question isn't how you're going to pay for it. The first question is, what do you need? And then we're going to see, if you have private insurance, yes, we're going to take that private insurance. If maybe your employer provides an employee assistance program, we'll use that, because we do have several in the community that we do. Then if you don't have any sort of insurance, then we're going to start with what income you do have and how many people you have in the household. And we're going to walk through a whole worksheet, and the board has approved and looks at it every year, of a sliding scale that allows us to help everybody, wherever they are on the scale. And sometimes those sliding scales cut off at X thousands of dollars per household. Well, you may make more than that. This sliding scale doesn't cut off.
But maybe just a little bit more.
But you may make more than that and have 6 people in the family. So our sliding scale
and we haven't even had time to touch on the senior program, because there's more and more seniors. We're going to have to get Amy and her staff to come back another time. But we had fun having her here today, and we'll see you next Sunday with another program. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.